What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. I want to talk about a unique knife. Um, it is a knife that I saw on Instagram on GP Knives, which is one of my favorite knife stores in Troy, Illinois. It's close to me, so I can actually go there and hold products and things like that. But on Instagram, I saw a knife produced by Kabar that looked like a wrench handle. Um, and this is the type of handle that I'm talking about. So it kind of caught my eye as I was scrolling along, and they said they sold out really quickly, and I think other sites are too, from what I'm seeing. It's just a cool knife, and it's at GP Knives. It's $36.95. That's affordable, guys. You know, when you fall into the knife world like we have, a lot of us, have $300, $400, $500 knives plus, right? It goes beyond that, and we're looking at a $36 knife. So, on their website, they said if I give them their email, they would tell me when the knife comes back in stock. My buddy Brandon also said he was interested in one and said if they have them, go ahead and order two. So, as a man of my word, I did order two. And this is what it looks like. So, let's take a look at this. Here's the packaging. So, when I see the packaging like this, it looks like it's going to be mass produced, kind of hung on, hung up at stores and things like that. You can see 10 of them hanging on a hook. And yeah, so pretty cool knife. It's made in the USA, which is always a plus. I love that. So, and we also have to remember when we're looking at a knife like this, we're not looking at a $400 knife. We're looking at a $36.95 knife. Okay, so I have trouble myself all the time. I'll take a more affordable knife like this, and I'm like, man, it's really not like the Spartan Harzy in my pocket or something like that. No, it's not. Okay, it's a $37 knife. So it is what it is, and it's really cool. I think it's a cool knife. So you get some literature and stuff like that, limited lifetime warranty. As long as you're not using it as a can opener, chisel, pry bar, screwdriver, digging tool, or any heavy work for which the product was not designed. Right? A lot of knives kind of fall into that use at some point in its life, and I guess it is up to their discretion whether they're going to give you warranty or not. So, this is made in Olean, New York. And it's all-purpose utility knife, hard plastic sheath, made in the USA. 425 high carbon stainless steel, and it is a beauty. I gotta say, I am a fan of this. I think it's pretty cool. For $37, it's a cool knife, right? The finish on it is almost a mirror finish. You can see the little contraption holding my phone here. But there you go, Kabar, made by Americans. Love it. Drop forged steel, right? A lot of tools say that. And that's when you have a hot piece of billet or something like that, and it's heated up red hot, and it's forged and it's hammered into a die. And the die is the shape of the handle, okay? So, that's what you come up with. There is absolutely no jimping or grip at all except these letters. So, the little bit of texture in this handle is about it. You can kind of put your finger, maybe your pinky finger, in this hole here, maybe to get a good grip. But like I said, there is absolutely no jimping or grip at all. So it comes with this plastic sheath here, which is fine. Okay, it has a little bit of water hole there, which I like that. Okay, this is a stainless steel, so it's going to be very corrosion resistant. It's going to be easy to sharpen, and the edge retention will be what it should be for a $37 knife. Okay, it'll be moderate. All right, you might have to sharpen this a little bit more than your $100 knives. Okay, there is a positive click when you put that in here. There's a little thumb ramp here when you go to take that out, which works really nice. So that's cool. So you could hook this up a lot of different ways. Like I said, it's mainly considered a neck knife. You could hang this up also, you know, on the pegboard, which I might do with some of my other tools. I might put this in my toolbox actually, just to have an extra knife, and put it with my wrenches. I think that's pretty cool. So definitely a fan of this knife. And let's go over some of the dimensions. So overall, we have a 7.125 inch knife. The blade is 3.19 inches, but the cutting edge is 3 inches. And you know what is so funny? $37. You have a sharpening choil, right? I mean, there are $400 and $500 knives out there that doesn't have a sharpening choil. So just a very simple thing, and people beg for that. There you go. On a knife under $40, you get a sharpening choil. And for people that sharpen their own knives, you realize the importance of that, right? So you don't run into the tang and do all this other stuff and change the shape of the edge itself. So the weight of this knife is 3.2 ounces. It is not a heavy knife because it's a neck knife, right? The hardness on this metal is a 56 to 58 on the Rockwell hardness scale, and they compare it with the Kabar 1095 hardness. Now, I'm not comparing the 1095 in any other way with the 425 other than the hardness. Okay. The thickness of the blade is pretty darn thick. It is 0.19. I mean, it's a hunk of metal. It's one-piece construction, of course, right? Full tang. And it is a thick piece of metal all the way to the tip. It's fairly robust, and it has a high flat grind, as you can see here. So let's compare it to some other ones. Speaking of a flat grind, let's break out the Spyderco left-handed PM2, and this is a full flat grind, and this is a high flat grind, because you could still see that spine up there has really thick point on it. And let's bring out the Kershaw Blur, old classic, right? One of the best knives for the money. And let's break out one more, the Benchmade Super Freak in M4 steel. Also a very high grind, you can see. So this is the smallest knife on the table, no doubt, and it's also the only one-piece construction because of the way it was made. But just so you can see it next to some common knives that you may or may not have, but you may have held, not sure. That PM2 is probably one of the most popular knives that you can get your hands on. So overall, you know, I think this is a great knife for the money. A lot of people were complaining that they didn't get the knife very sharp. And I tell you what, both of these knives, I took them out of the box and I was able to shave hair on my arm. So that's good enough for me, you know. There are some imperfections in the grind. You know, I'm sure these are hand ground and stuff like that. Not really complaining, but if I have to nitpick, you can see the very edge there, the bevel, it gets, I don't know if you can see that or not, it gets really thin right here, and then it gets thick right here. So it's thicker, thin, and a little bit thicker. So there are some imperfections in the grind, and the other one is the same way. You know, one side looks pretty good, and then the other side has a real deep grind up by the tip. And like I said, I'm sure they're done by hand, and they're not done by machines. We're paying American people to make this. So you can't spend too long if you're only selling the thing for $36.95. How much is this person making an hour, you know, when they're doing the grind and forging this and everything else? So totally understand, not really complaining. The grip itself is pretty much non-existent. You know, like I said, with the shape of the handle and the letters and things like that, there is a little bit of grip, then you can try to put your pinky in there maybe to get a little bit more. I may void the warranty and just put 3 to 4 horizontal lines across here for a little jimping, just something to grab, something to grab the knife, you know. And I might put it underneath here. I like jimping, okay, maybe right here. Nothing aggressive or anything like that, but I might put some lines in there. And like I said, I do believe it will void the warranty when you modify the knife like that. But for functionality, that is what it's missing, I think. So it's a very cool knife, utility knife, things like that. That shiny part's going to get pretty scratched up once you start using it, but there's just no grip on it. So that would be, you know, my only really main complaint is not having a grip. Otherwise, you know, you have a solid piece of metal that's forged in the United States. It's made by a legendary company in New York, and I think it's very, very cool. So just wanted to show you guys that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. There are a lot more to come, and if you do like this video, just hit the subscribe button or hit the like button, share it with a friend, and as always, have yourselves a good night. Thanks for watching.